can I ask you something? And I need you to actually think about the answer instead of just reading past it. When was the last time you went a full day without feeling like you were somehow behind? Not behind on tasks, not behind on emails, behind on life, behind on the version of yourself you thought you'd be by now, behind on the things you watched other people arrive at while you were still somewhere in the middle of your own story, wondering when your part was going to start making sense. If you felt that recently, this reading is for you. Not in a vague, everyone kind of way. In a this specific energy found this specific person kind of way. So stay with me. My name is Lily, and what came through in these cards today is not a pep talk. It is not a collection of affirmations designed to make you feel temporarily better before the feeling comes back tomorrow. It is something more specific than that. It is an explanation. And by the time we get to the end of this, the feeling of being behind is going to feel like something you were wearing that you forgot you could take off. Let's go. The very first thing the cards showed me about where you are right now. So, the first thing that came through, and I want to say this carefully because I think you need to hear it said carefully. You have been comparing your timeline to someone else's. Not out of envy exactly, not out of pettiness, out of something much more human than that. The very understandable, very natural need to know if you are okay, if you are on track, if the pace you're moving at is acceptable by some standard that exists somewhere outside yourself. And so you looked around at the friend who seems to have figured out their career, at the person from school who appears to have built the life you imagined for yourself at a younger age, at the stranger on the internet whose highlight reel your brain has started treating as a documentary, and you use those images as a measuring stick. And when you held your life up against that measuring stick, you felt short. Here's what I need you to understand about that measuring stick. It was never yours. It was built from someone else's timeline, someone else's circumstances, someone else's version of what a life is supposed to look like at this particular moment. It has your fingerprints on it now because you've been holding it so long, but it was never designed for your specific path. And a ruler built for someone else's road will always make your road look wrong. Even when your road is exactly right, what your energy actually looks like from outside yourself. And this surprised me. Okay. So now I want to talk about you specifically. Not the version of you that you've been presenting to the world. Not the version that has been quietly managing the feeling of being behind while looking functional on the outside. The real version. The one underneath. Because here's what your energy actually looks like from where I'm sitting. You look like someone in the middle of becoming something. And I know that might sound like a nice thing to say and nothing more. But I mean it structurally. Literally, like, if I were looking at your life the way you look at a building under construction, I would not see an empty lot. I would see foundations poured, framework rising, the kind of structural work that is invisible from the street, but load-bearing for everything that comes after. You have been doing invisible work, the kind that doesn't get acknowledged because it happens inside. The kind of work where you sat with something uncomfortable and didn't look away from it. Where you identified a pattern in yourself you didn't want to see and changed direction anyway. Where you made a quiet decision that nobody applauded because nobody saw it, but it changed the trajectory of something important. That work is not nothing. That work is actually everything. And the reason your life might look still from the outside right now is not because nothing is happening. It's because the most significant things that happen in a life happen underground first. Something about the waiting that nobody has told you yet. So, I want to spend some time here because this card is the one I feel most strongly about in this entire reading. You have a story about the waiting, about the period of time, however long it's been, that felt like stalling, like being held in place while life moved around you, like standing in a doorway that never quite opened all the way. And the story you've built around that waiting is probably not kind. It probably involves some version of something is wrong with me, or I should have done something differently, or that very specific, very painful version of maybe this just isn't for me. I need to offer you a different story, not a comforting one, not a just be positive one, a structurally accurate one. What felt like waiting was calibration. Think about it this way. When something is being built to a precise specification, something that needs to be exactly right to function the way it's supposed to, the builder does not rush the calibration phase. Not because they are careless, because they understand that a thing built too quickly before the conditions are right, before all the components are properly aligned, breaks. Or worse, it works, but not the way it was supposed to. The timing of your life right now is not accidental. What is coming towards you, and something significant is coming towards you, I'll get to that, required a version of you that didn't exist 2 years ago. That couldn't have existed without exactly the experiences you've had, without the specific recalibrations your quiet seasons forced you to make. Earlier was not the right time. Not because you weren't good enough earlier, because what's coming needed you to be exactly who you are right now, and you only became that person by taking exactly this long. What's actually moving toward you? And I felt this from the beginning of this reading. Okay, so something is coming, and I want to be clear about what I mean by that, because I'm not going to be vague about it. This is not a gentle nudge from the universe. This is not a small shift or a minor adjustment on the horizon. The energy around what is moving towards you right now has weight to it, has intention, has the specific quality of something that has been in motion for a while and is now close enough to feel. You may have already sensed it. Not clearly. More like a peripheral thing. A feeling that arrived recently and didn't fully leave. The sense that something is about to change, though you couldn't point to the evidence if someone asked. A restlessness that doesn't feel like anxiety exactly. More like anticipation. Your conscious mind hasn't caught up to yet. That feeling is accurate. Now, what is this thing? I'm keeping it intentionally open because for some of you it is a person. For others, it is an opportunity that is going to reframe what you thought your path was. For others, it is a version of yourself that is about to become visible, a capacity or a calling that has been developing underground and is very close to breaking through the surface. Whatever form it takes for you specifically, the quality of it is the same. It is significant. It is real. And it is arriving at the exact moment it was always supposed to arrive. Not late. On time. Your time. What you've built inside yourself through all of it. This one is important. Now, I want to spend a moment on what you actually are right now. Because I think you've been so focused on what you don't yet have, that you haven't fully accounted for what you've become in the process of not yet having it. You are not the same person who first started waiting. Think about that for a moment. The version of you that began this season, whatever the season was, walked into it with a certain understanding of yourself, a certain tolerance for things that weren't right for you, a certain willingness to accept less than you deserved because you weren't yet sure you deserved more. That version of you is gone. Not in a loss kind of way, in a graduation kind of way. Because here's what the waiting built in you while you were busy wishing it was over. It built discernment, the ability to know the difference between something that is right and something that is merely available. That sounds simple. It is extraordinarily rare. It built patience that doesn't feel like passivity. The specific kind of still that isn't giving up. It's trusting. Knowing the difference between those two things is one of the most sophisticated emotional skills a person can develop. It built a relationship with yourself, and that last one is the most important. Because what's coming towards you requires someone who knows who they are, who isn't going to hand themselves over to the first thing that shows up just because something finally showing up feels like relief. You know who you are now. That took time when it was worth the time. Something else sitting in this energy, and I cannot move past it without naming it. Okay. So something else is here. And I've felt it sitting underneath this reading since the beginning. This third energy. And I have to address it because I think it's relevant to where you are right now. There are people in your environment who are unsettled by your movement, and I want to be really specific about what I mean by that. This is not about people who wish you harm in an obvious way. This is subtler. These are people who knew a particular version of you. A version that was in a certain place at a certain level, needing certain things, and who built their relationship with you or their sense of themselves relative to you around that version. And now you're changing. Quietly. Without drama, but unmistakably. And some people in your orbit are feeling that shift before you've even announced it. And instead of celebrating it, which is what genuine support looks like, they are doing something else. Small things. A comment that seems supportive but carries a small weight in it. A question about your plans that's framed as curiosity but is really inventory. A moment where they bring up your past. Specifically, the version of your past where you were smaller or more stuck in a context where it doesn't quite fit. You may have felt this without knowing what to call it. Here's what to call it. Growing pains. Not yours. Theirs. You don't need to address it. You don't need to manage it. You don't need to slow down your movement to make it less visible to the people who are unsettled by it. You simply need to keep going and understand that the discomfort in your environment right now is not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's a sign that something is actually changing. Real movement creates friction. Friction is confirmation. The one thing you need to release, and this came through very directly. Now I need to say something directly. And I'm going to say it the way I'd say it to someone I actually care about, which means without softening it into something easier to dismiss. There's a habit you have. You revisit. Not in a healthy processing kind of way, in a circling kind of way. You go back to the thing that didn't work. The relationship, the opportunity, the path, the version of yourself you were trying to build. And you examine it again. Turn it over. Look for the thing you missed. The decision that, if made differently, would have produced a different outcome. And you do this because you are intelligent and self-aware, and because understanding things is how you feel safe. But here's what that revisiting is actually costing you. Every hour you spend looking backward at the closed door is an hour you are not looking forward at what is approaching. And something is approaching. It does not need you to understand the closed door before it arrives. It does not require you to have figured out exactly where you went wrong or what you should have done differently or whether the outcome could have been avoided. It just needs you to be present, facing forward, hands open. The closed door was not a mistake. It was a direction. It told you, this is not the way. And you heard it. You're still here. You kept going. That's enough. You do not need to understand it completely to move past it. Sometimes the most important thing you can do with a closed door is stop standing in front of it. What right on time actually feels like, because it's not what most people expect. So, let me tell you what right on time actually looks like when it arrives. Because I think there's a version of this you've been imagining that involves something obvious, something that announces itself, some clear, undeniable signal that tells you, okay, this is it. This is the thing you were waiting for. This is where the story changes. And sometimes it is that clear, but more often, it arrives quietly. It arrives as a conversation that starts as one thing and ends as something that changes the shape of your week. As an opportunity that appears in a form you weren't expecting. Not wrapped in the packaging you imagined, but unmistakably right when you feel it. As a person who enters your life not dramatically but simply, and then stays. And you notice after a while that something in you that was tense has become still. The signature of right on time is not drama. It is recognition. That specific feeling of something clicking into a place that was waiting for it. Not a surprise exactly, and more like a remembering. Like a part of you already knew this was coming, and the rest of you is just catching up. Watch for things in the next period of your life that feel like that. Not the things that arrive loudly demanding your attention. The things that arrive quietly and feel immediately like they belong. Those are yours. Those are what on time looks like. The last card. And this is the one I want you to carry out of here with you. Here is the truth underneath everything I've said today. And I want you to sit with this one. Actually sit with it. Don't just receive it and move on. The feeling that brought you here today, that quiet, persistent hum of being behind, of being somehow late to your own life, was never accurate. It was never a reading of reality. It was a reading of fear. Fear that time is a straight line with a right pace. Fear that deviation from someone else's sequence means something is wrong with yours. Fear that the things that haven't arrived yet are late rather than approaching. Fear dressed up as reasonable self-assessment. And here is what is actually true. You are not behind. You are in the last stage of preparation for something that needed the complete version of you. Not the version from 2 years ago. Not the version that hadn't yet learned what you've learned. Not the version that would have let the right things slip through unrecognized because it didn't know yet how to hold it. This version. The one sitting here right now. The one that went through the season that felt like delay and came out the other side carrying something that cannot be bought or borrowed or hurried into existence. Whatever is coming toward you, and something is coming. It was always timed for this version of you. Not because the universe is sentimental, because the right things always arrive when the person receiving them is actually ready to receive them. You are ready. Not almost ready, not getting there, ready, done apologizing for the pace of their own becoming. Done mistaking preparation for failure. If that resonates, subscribe. Stay close. These readings are made specifically for where you are, not where you think you should be. If this one moved something in you, like this video and subscribe my channel. Not for numbers, because it helps this reach the next person who needs to hear that they are not behind.